The last Kaleidosaur. Quest casting spells on your minions reward Galvadon. And Galvadon is 5/5 for 5 mana, and Battlecry adapt 5 times. Yeah, so basically what you expect to get when you play Galvadon, 5/5 which adapts 5 times after you complete the quest. You expect to get stealthed, Wind Furied, buffed a lot of times for attack, card, which can technically OTK your opponent if there's no taunt on the board, if there's no hard AoE board clear. If you adapt it 5 times, you can expect to get stealth on it, so you can target it with anything. There's no Bran in standard anymore, so only 5 times, not more. I mean, it's a pretty powerful guy, just like not super reliable. Like if you counter it, your deck is weak with a lot of buffs in it. Also, such decks in general will be very vulnerable to silence type of effects. Silence might be, like Spellbreaker might be a really good card after Angora hits. I mean, if you hit the card, you might just OTK people in a lot of cases. Like, with 5 times adapt, what can you expect? Let's say you hit like +3 attack 2 times. So you buff your guy with +6 attack to 11. And then it's Wind Fury Stealth. So it's 11 attack, stealthed, Wind Fury guy who can hit for 22. And then, let's say, once you're unlucky and you got 2 bad keywords like Taunt, Poisonous, and 2 Living Roots, 2 Destroy Summon 2/1/1s. So say you got unlucky once on average. So you can expect to deal like 22 damage from it if you hit. In most cases, you will be able to hit Stealth and Wind Fury on it. You probably won't be able to hit 2 times attack on it every single time, but you should in most cases too. There also will be some situations where you don't even hit a Stealth, or you don't hit a Wind Fury, then it does much less. Also, quest is somewhat difficult to complete. You need to build a deck around it. You can like complete the quest without making a deck like straight up going towards buffing you guys. You have to play a ton of underwhelming spells, underwhelming buffs, Blessing of Kings, Divine, like the 1 mana 1 +1/+2. You need also some cards like Argent Squire in deck, so you have a good buff receiver. The only way to complete this quest is literally make a deck around it. The reward is quite good, so you get a nice powerful minion which can probably win you the game by itself sometimes. Is it a competitive deck, you might ask? I don't think so. I find it difficult to make like such unreliable win condition best tier 1 deck. You need to have a lot of buffs, like oftentimes you will just get no buffs, no minions to buff, and oftentimes you will get minions and no buffs for them. Casting spells on your minions. You can't even expect to complete this quest too early. Blessing of Might, Blessing of Wisdom, Hand of Protection. Yeah, you need to have a lot of underwhelming cards in your deck in order to finish this quest. So there's some assistance in it. There's a Primalfin Champion, a new card, 2 mana 1/2 Murloc. This card will return any spells you cast on this minion to your hand. So if you play, that's a very good buff receiver. If you play the quest and a bunch of buffs, that's a natural fit, right? You also you play like Argent Squires. I just don't know. You probably have to play a new 3 mana egg, which 0/3 mana creature and Destroy Summon at 5/5. That will do. Good buff receiver. You can play a Shield Bearer, I suppose. And also you can play a Runic Egg. Yeah, not so many good buff receivers, I would say. You can probably also take an approach when you're taking it slower, like play Dinosize maybe. Medivh Dinosize deck. Who knows? Last in Jungle and you spell summon 2/1/1 Silverhead recruits. Those guys can be targeted by spells as well, right? That's like a must-have as well if you play buff paladin. You have to have some like cheap small tokens to buff. I mean, it's really difficult for me to evaluate how good this spell is, the quest is. I would just say it's very likely that paladin just will not be any good, and the quest isn't good by itself. It's very slow and very hard to achieve. But like Primalfin Champion seems like a good card to buff, and just kind of slow, hard to make it work. You can just play 2 mana 1/2 and expect it to survive. You'll just probably get killed immediately by something. So I would say I won't judge this card yet, but it seems I would say likely to be tier 2 or tier 3 even. Lost in Jungle, 1 mana, summon 2/1/1 Silverhand recruits. That's kind of a strong card. What Paladin was never good at, what Paladin stopped being good at, it's making a good early game. This card is good in aggro Paladin. If you play Divine Favor, why not? Just play Lost in Jungle. It works same as for Token Druid before, in the past. Elemental isn't a bad card. This card has less flexibility. But also you get this recruits out, and it has synergy with other Silverhand recruits cards. That's a new card, Sunkeeper Tarim, you can use it with. Also, Lightfused Stegodon. You can adapt Silverhand recruit. Yeah, so cards like that will have some synergy with it. I don't know like if Silverhand recruit synergy cards are worth playing. I'll think about it when I'll talk about them. But card by itself seems decent. Like, we'll really find a card in aggro Paladin if you play Divine Favor. Very nice, like getting 2 tokens out and only 1 mana. Nice deal. In last Kaleidosaur Paladin, it will find a card too. 2/1/1s really good targets for buffs. Synergy with Pyromancer Kappa. We will see some play of it. I don't think like it's in a really slow Paladin deck. There's no need to play it. Like if you play Doomsayer Paladin, there's no need to play Lost in Jungle. But it will see play in some decks. So Adaptation, 1 mana spell, adapt a friendly minion. Very simple, right? You play the card, you adapt a minion. It can be a poisonous keyword. It can get poisonous keyword. It can get +3 attack, Blessing of Might, Akka. Get +3 life, Divine Shield. You can give it a taunt. Not so great really, just a case. You can give a Death Rattle, summon 2/1/1s to a minion. Yeah, just small like nice benefit. Again, works similar to Lost in Jungle, I would say. Very nice for Last Kaleidosaur quest and very nice for aggro Paladin. More flexible than Blessing of Might for aggro Paladin. You can oftentimes hit like very nice taxing effect on your small token and trade into Ancient of War. Hit +3 attack, get Blessing of Might effect, or maybe 2 Death Rattles if you're playing around AoE. Again, I don't see it being useful in like slow Paladins. And who knows, maybe aggro Paladin will be actually the best Paladin deck with Lost in Jungle and Adaptation together. Hydrologist, 2 mana 2/2, Battlecry, discover a secret. That's a nice cute little Morlock. It seems very interesting, right? It might find a card everywhere. There aren't so many secrets right now. There are not new secrets introduced, it seems. And from ones we have in standard, there'll be no competitive spirit. So Eye for an Eye, Getaway Kodo, Hand of Protection, Redemption, Noble Sacrifice, Repentance. Yeah, so like really nice balanced overall creature. I see no reason to not play it everywhere. Like getting a secret, Paladin secrets, they're okay, nothing special, but 2/2 stat line for 2 mana is pretty good. Like for small control-ish type of decks, you get your Getaway Kodo or Redemption. Yeah, it's pretty good, right? If you play Tyrion, Getaway Kodo, extra Tyrion. Redemption, get a 6/1 Divine Shield when it dies. You can play like Death Rattle minions and get synergy with it. If you're dying, you get Noble Sacrifice. If you're playing against OTK Mage, you just get Eye for an Eye and they can't do anything, right? You put them at 1 and proc the block and they try to OTK you. You have Eye for an Eye on. Nope. You can't do it anymore, right? As soon as you hit me, you die. That's how it works, right? Not other way around. Mage. Yeah, so a very flexible, nice card. For the last Kaleidosaur quest, it's like another buff taker, the Hydrologist. You're aiming for like a redemption, something to make your minions stick to the board, I guess. Maybe it won't like be super great for Kaleidosaur quest, but for more slow controllers decks, I think Hydrologist is pretty solid. Primalfin Champion, 2 mana 1/2, does rather return any spells you cast on this minion into your hand. Yeah, so it's primarily for last Kaleidosaur quest, just a buff giver. Pretty powerful. I see no reason to play it anywhere else. I'll just move on. I mean, the guy's a Murloc, so you can technically play like an aggro Murloc, adaptation, a bunch of spells, divine favor, paladin, with Murloc war leaders, something like that. I don't think it will be super strong, so just for fun you can do it when you're like really bored. But mostly it's for Kaleidosaur quest. Lightfused Stegodon, 4 mana 3/4, battle cry, adapt your silver hand recruits. You need to go really heavy on silver hand recruits in order to make this guy work. He doesn't feel like it's super strong, so stat line is really weak by itself. It feels like this guy should be at least 4/4 or even like 3/5, something like that. Maybe even 4/5. Like I just don't see how can you justify playing this. Like in Master for Battle meta, sure. In Wild, it seems okay. You play Master for Battle into Lightfused Stegodon, get your 1/1 +3 attack, and then still you can just play Shredder in Wild, right? The 5 mana spell, like you just don't do it, right? You don't go for Stand Against Darkness for this shitty spell. Like, yeah, you can make a deck around Silver Hand recruits, so you can't expect it to be strong. So Kat will not see any play. I mean, it's a beast as well, so technically you can like play Curator, Lightfused Stegodon, Paladin. Again, I don't think it's super strong. Also, you adapt all your recruits with one tag. You can choose different tags for your recruits. You can like pick, you can find like Taunt, Stealth, and +3 life for your recruits. It's just so bad, right? You don't want to buff your 1/1s with +3 life, it doesn't do anything. Sunkeeper Tarim, 6 mana, 3/7, Taunt, Battle Cry, set all minions attack and health to 3. Again, it's somewhat synergetic with Silver Hand recruits. It just seems like it's a slow card, so you probably want to play it in a slow Paladin. And if you play slow Paladin, you don't play Lost in Jungle in it. You play like Greedy Heals and Doomslayer, Pyre Quality. It's probably still good enough, so with Keeper of Uldaman God, you really need some more hard removal as a control Paladin. You can still go like Silver Hand Recruit into Sunkeeper Tarim turn 8 and buff, like make a 3/7 taunt plus a 3/3 plus like deal with your opponent gigantic dinosaurs same time. Yeah, I mean it's a good card for control Paladin. For any fast Paladins, I don't think it will see any play. Like Kaleidosaur quest doesn't belong to such decks. Give a minion +2/+6 and taunt. When it dies, summon a Stegodon. What is Stegodon one more time? And the Stegodon is a 4 mana 2/6 taunt and a beast. Compared to Tentacle for arms, it's just straight up better, right? This gives you +2/+6 for 6 mana and a taunt, and you also summon a taunt when your creature dies. It's like a lot of good benefits from it. You can play like a slow Paladin with Ragnaros Firelord, and then like buff your guy. You play a Ragnaros and you don't die immediately, opponent like goes face, ignores your Ragnaros, bam, you play Spikeridged Steed, and your Ragnaros suddenly becomes a 10/16 taunt, which summons a 2/6 taunt. Much better, don't you think so? Yeah, so you can also play it in a last Kaleidosaur quest, buff your stuff, count stars as the quest. kind of slow, so maybe just one off. On turn 8 you can go Silverhand Recruit plus Spikeridged Steed, and you summon for 8 mana you're getting 3/7 taunt. With Death Rattle you get a 3/6 taunt. Again, very vulnerable to any type of silence effect. So Spellbreaker really wrecks you here. Like against priests they might have this 5/5 silencer, very strong against you as well. I mean, if paladin will ever be like super competitive, like there's no way you will dodge Spellbreaker. So I mean, I'm pretty sure paladin will not like be OP again, because if it's the case, anyhow, I don't see how these decks will like be OP and beating everyone. But if suddenly they are, people will just start playing Spellbreaker and the power level will drop. Now the card itself, so it seems like it's a pretty good card, much better than Priest buff. We'll see some play, maybe as one off, maybe as two off, who knows. Vinecleaver, 7 mana 4/3. After hero attacks, summon a 1/1, 2/1/1 Silverhand Recruits. Oh my god, 7 mana weapon. So it competes with True Silver Champion, same attack. You have to have a lot of heal to make this work anyhow. In defense of this card I can say that it's a 7 mana card, and Paladin is really not having many good cards to play at 7 right now, as it is. The card is pretty slow too. Like moment when you want to do it 4 damage, it's a turn 5. And also, like dealing 4 damage, it feels like the value of such type of damage, like dealing 4, will probably drop with new expansion, because cards are like, they're being much more sticky, like adapt creatures, they will oftentimes have Divine Shield, you don't want to hit that. And you get the 2/1/1s when you hit, yeah. You just don't have too much life to use, so charges as well. I mean, I'm really convinced if this will see any play, it will be just one off. There's no vault when you play 2 Vinecleavers. And also, I'm pretty convinced it will not see any play at all, but as a one-off, like, it has some synergy with Sunkeeper Tarim, because you can like equip this on 7, kill something, then next turn you hit, hero power, Sunkeeper, you get 3 3/3s and a 3/7. It's really slow, so probably won't see any play. Dinosize, 8 mana spell, set a minion attack and health to 10. Alright, so what comes in mind is like Medivh decks. When I see a very expensive spell, I think about Medivh. Medivh is 8 mana, this spell is 8 mana, so synergy is already kind of questionable. There's a Spikeridged Steed spell, which is good with Medivh as well. But like 8 mana is such a competitive spot for Paladin. We have Light Lord, we have Tyrion, we have Landhands. Do you really want to play Medivh as well? And Dinosize? And how does it even work? Let's say you can play a Vinecleaver, alright? You can have a Vinecleaver Paladin, and then you expect to like hit something on turn 7. On turn 8 you hit something with the Vinecleaver, and then you play Dinosize and you make a 10/10. That's probably won't happen too often, you know. You already play like 2 very shitty cards and expecting them to work somehow together. It's like you're playing Vinecleaver, it's not defensive, because yeah, you kill something, but you still take damage to the face. Then you play Dinosize next turn. I mean, it's good at smorking, I guess. Like if you play Vinecleaver as a smork tool, you can go face and get 2/1/1s behind. Dinosize, I mean, it all seems fun. Like technically, if you pull out, like you can pull off Medivh and Vinecleaver, like it's all too many weapons, right? You must have 2 True Silvers, because those cards are just broken. Then you have Vinecleaver in deck, and Medivh, and Dinosize, all this expensive stuff. And they're not even so OP, like on turn 7, what do you even kill with it? Like your opponent will be playing this, Shamans will be playing their 7 mana drops, which 4/4 summon 2/3 taunt. Yeah, you play Vinecleaver and then hit 1, 2, 3, hit second 2-3, and next turn you hit third. You can hit a 4-4, but you're taking like 8 damage, then 6 damage, then 4 damage after. Yeah, good luck. So this type of synergy, like, I don't think Vinecleaver is good, so why would I talk about it? Like, talking about Medivh, too many good to competitive A drops for Paladin already. Paladin, it's like, that's not what Paladin needs. Paladin needs something to play before 8. On 8, Paladin is completely fine, so it's what he has already. You know, I just don't see it, right? The card by itself, if you don't play Medivh, you need to have a board. Like, if you don't have a board, you have 8 mana, you can't even play? Like, seriously? There's no way it's good. So, what do I think overall about Paladin? I think Paladin didn't really get much good stuff right now. It does seem like Paladin will struggle one more time. Nothing good for Paladin. There's a new legendary, which is decent. And quest, which is questionable. It just doesn't feel like Paladin will shine at the time. It has to be a mysterious challenger again.